Hi guys, I'm Tracy. Thank you for joining me today and welcome to today's video. So in this video, I wanted to walk through the steps that I take when I do my base makeup. And it's something I've been thinking about for a long time. I started learning about this stuff about 3 years ago, 2018. Yeah, so 3 years ago, I was horrible at doing my makeup, especially my skin makeup, my foundation, concealer. I had no idea what I was doing. My skin looked wrinkly and dry, and the colors that I was using were way off. I have an old video that I posted a picture of what my makeup used to look like before I really started getting into, fixing that. But I don't want you guys to look it up. If you guys want me to show you, I'll bring it up again. But anyhow, I'm in my 40s. At my age, I do have a lot of things that I need to do in order for my skin to look smooth and less, spotted, I guess. I have a lot of freckles, sunspots, hyperpigmentation. So I don't try to cover everything up. And of course, my skin is not completely smooth. It probably never will be, but as you'll see very soon, I do think that I have come pretty close to getting my skin to look the best that it can with skin prep and makeup. So that's really the point of this video. I hope you enjoy the tutorial, and I will see you guys at the end. Alright, so my skin is prepped. I do generally 3 things to my skin before I put my makeup on. The first is the niacinamide brightening toner, which I got from Beautylish, Good Molecules. And then it doesn't have to be this product. I just happen to have a little deluxe sample of the Sisley Essential Skin Lotion. The reason I like this is because it soaks in really quick and it doesn't leave, any kind of oily residue. And I feel like that is really, really important. If you use something that is too slippery, it makes your makeup slip around as well. And then this is fairly new. It's the Coola Sun Silk Drops as sunscreen. And another thing about this one also, it's very thin and it doesn't leave, it kind of makes your skin sticky, but it's not that bad. And I feel like if you keep putting more things on, you run the risk of, pilling and your skin surface not being able for the makeup to adhere to it. This foundation is the Nars Naturally Radiant mixed with, I should say the Estee Lauder Futurist foundation mixed in with a little bit of the Nars. And I usually mix my foundation so I can get a better match. If something's a little light, I'll put something in to, deepen it. If it's, for example, the Estee Lauder is very luminous, so I like mixing in a more matte foundation with that. It's the Nars is Naturally Radiant, but I don't feel like it's got a radiant finish, not on me at least. I'm not a big primer person because again, that just adds to the layers, and I do feel like a lot of primers will pill on your skin. The only primers that I use once in a while, I'll use a mattifying one, if it's really hot and I want to be sweating. But aside from that, I don't. Once in a while I'll use the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, but a day like this, it's just not necessary. I don't worry about like areas like this because I'm going to put concealer on it later. And I'll usually add a little more like here where I need it. And when I do that, I'll use like a smaller brush and usually like tap it in to kind of concentrate the coverage. All right, now I'm going to conceal, and I've been really liking this Nars soft matte concealer. And the reason I've been really liking this is because, you know, now that it's been kind of hot, this really does stay in place without drying your skin out. So I've never really been into a pot concealer. I don't think I've ever had one, to be honest, or nor do I have any stick concealers, because I always felt that they would be too drying. But this one is not. I'm not sure how they do it, but Nars complexion products are just, for the most part, amazing. And I think of all the brands I use most, I would say Nars is the brand for my complexion that I use the most. Their foundation, concealer, what else? Yeah, well, I guess that's it. I don't have their powders. This also really works great as an eyeshadow base. And it just kind of covers up things I have going on there. I'll try to soften these lines. Like wherever I have shadows, I try to kind of lighten that area. This concealer is not light for me. I should be using a lighter one. I'm considering getting a lighter shade so I can kind of highlight these areas more. But one thing at a time. I'm going to powder with the LYS translucent powder. Sonia G Designer Pro. So this powder it's not very matte, but it does, you know, set your concealer and foundation. It mattifies a little, but not too much. So that's generally all I powder. Just areas I need it and under the eyes, because I'll do my eyeshadow next, so I want to make sure this area is not sticky, so that when I have fallout it comes off. Alright, and then I do like my eyes, and then I'll come back to finish out my bronzer, contour, and things like that, and blush. Alright, so I did my eyes and my lips. The reason I do my base makeup and then I spend some time, you know, mainly my eyes is what takes a long time, is I try to get my foundation, concealer, and all that to kind of settle in, because I feel like if it's a little too sticky or too, you know, it clings on to too much. Although I do, my skin is pretty sticky, but I try to make it so that it's not so much without having to powder, because, you know, at my age, when you powder, things start to look a little older. Anyhow, and then I've been really, I think I mentioned this a few times, or at least once, I've been really enjoying this as like a contour bronzer. I do feel like when I kind of swipe, it does kind of lift my makeup, so that's why I spot it like that. Something else that I've been meaning to mention, and I'm thinking of doing a video on it, about like what your face shape is and how to contour and bronze accordingly. I feel like there's a lot of channels out there that give the advice of like doing your makeup to change that to look like a different shape, which I don't agree with. So, you know, for a long time, I guess the ideal face was like an oval face with big eyes, high cheekbones, what, you know. So the advice would be to make your face look more like that face. But, you know, most of us don't have those features, and if we're going to try to make them look like that, sometimes it just doesn't look natural. It doesn't look right. So I'm more of the, my intention is not to make my face more oval or, you know, make my eyes more round. It's just about making them look better to me. So I have a square face. Not super square, but I mean, I've been told that by makeup artists and you know, people that have done my hair, and I'm okay with that. I don't need to make it oval. I like that I have a square face. So I'll even kind of, like right here is where the bottom corners are, I'll even like accentuate that, because I mean, that's my face, you know. I don't have an oval face, and if I look like I have a square face, then I'm fine with that. Of course, if you are really unhappy with your face shape, you know, there's so much you can do with makeup. But this whole thing about everyone conforming to a certain look, I don't agree with. And it's all, not all, but a lot of it is fueled by money, right? Because if this whole, you know, having really full lips is a thing, if you don't have it, you can spend money to get it. You know, I'm not saying, you know, like someone might have a feature that they're very unhappy with and, you know, getting surgery or, you know, getting help to correct that. I'm for that. The thing that I find is kind of been a common theme that I've seen, especially here on YouTube, is a lot of people conforming to a certain look. So turning features that you have that are perfectly fine, that are beautiful on your face, and changing that to a different shape or look. And you know, sometimes it looks great, sometimes it doesn't. but I just, it really bothers me that this is kind of the trend or the common theme that I'm seeing. And I really do think it's all fueled by money, getting you to spend more at the doctor to get things changed, or spending more money on more makeup so that you can change something that you have that's perfectly fine. Anyhow, that's my little spiel on you know, my philosophy of makeup and beauty, and you know, I don't think we should all feel pressure to look one way. Instead, I think we should use what we have, make that look better to you. I'm trying to make it so that, you know, we don't have this, you know, unrealistic pressure to look a certain way. And I know that kind of comes with age. You know, I'm in my 40s, so I've become a little more comfortable with my features. But, you know, I do see a lot of just people I know and people on social media that, you know, they look perfectly beautiful. I mean, you know, I look at them and I'm like, there's really nothing that they should change, but they change it anyways. And then they look great too, but I'm for maintaining what you have. But, you know, for example, I've noticed online, you know, I follow some plastic surgeons, and there's this theme of having like the cat eye or the fox eye. So all these models with, like, you know, beautiful round eyes are now making them like this, like really, you know, angled, which is kind of crazy to me. I really, and I think they're getting surgery or, you know, injecting things to change the shape of their eyes when they had perfectly beautiful eyes before that. I don't know. I think it's kind of just a shame that these things are happening. Like some of the most, you know, beautiful women that have been on magazines and fashion shows are now, not all, but changing their face to look more like this different, you know, going after a different ideal of beauty. And I understand there's like money behind it, and, you know, maybe they'll be more successful and earn more money if they do those things. But I've noticed this trend really catching on, and I do think a lot of it is fueled by these companies that make products that change your features. You know, you guys probably know all of them. There's so many at this point, but, you know, kind of like brainwashing people to think that we need to use those products in order to be beautiful. Anyways, that's my little spiel. I was thinking of doing a video on like face shapes, and I mean, I'm not familiar with all, but for example, my face is like square, round, you know, kind of on that spectrum, that side of the spectrum. And I wanted to kind of maybe go into more detail on how I enhance that, or, you know, what goes in my mind when I'm doing like what I just did, like my blush, contour, and bronzer. Okay, so I think that's it. I do often, like when I'm looking in the viewfinder, I do see some areas that are a little shinier than I'd like. I'm going to do this off camera. I'm going to just powder certain areas. It takes a little bit of time, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I did a little powdering in areas where I felt there were a little too much shine. I didn't put highlighter on today because I used a pretty luminous foundation, and so I think I'm pretty shiny already. Although I do love that highlighter, I kind of thought that it looked pretty good as it is. So this is a finished look. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you guys, you know, maybe inspire you to do more contouring, bronzing, maybe changing up your, you know, base makeup a little bit, or maybe adding a step to your skin prep or something. I do think all these little things that I've started doing before and during my makeup application has really improved the look of my makeup, the look of my skin. And these are things that are very new to me. You know, just 3 or 4 years ago, my makeup it was nothing like this. My skin always looked dry. My fine lines were so obvious. Just looking from, you know, 3 or 4 years ago to now, I'm really impressed with myself as far as what I've been able to achieve with my makeup application. So that's really the purpose of this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.